Tell me that I'm right, even if you're lying, tell me what I wanna hear. Same old walls closing in, same old voice inside my head.
I've had women that are the #1 in the world, better than any man at something, and miserable on every antidepressant you can imagine. Because it's hard to love yourself when you're not being yourself. Most of our cultures taught women that masculinity is more powerful than femininity, which is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. There's no question feminine, true feminine energy, not fake manipulated feminine energy, has more power than masculine energy always has.
Girls, when he texts you after months of silence, here's what's happening. He's not missing you. He's missing what you made him feel. You were the high. He came back for a dose. Notice the message. It's never, I'm sorry. It's, hey, how are you? He doesn't want to commit. He wants to test if the door is still open. Answer when you know the difference between being wanted and being used. Follow me. I read men so you don't have to.
Did you notice that a lot of standards that men talk about are not actual standards, and they only work one direction, conveniently? For example, they want 50-50, but still want to be the man of the house. Girl talks to a rich man, she's a gold digger. A man does it, he's networking. Men say they don't want a girl who's too available, but then they're trying to sleep with you on a first date. If she asks a man for something, she's using him. If she runs a business, she's too masculine. Two girls together, that's hot. To men, that's weird. Men want an independent woman until she stops needing them. And girls, it's not confusion. It's called control. So it's not a standard. It's a version of reality that only benefits men.
A lot of these men know that a woman will get online and say, I'm strong and independent. I don't need no man. But then be having him in the other room while hollering and screaming all this stuff. He paying the bills, but then still be online getting validation and attention from other dudes in a DM.
More and more Gen Z women are trying to date millennial men because they missed the red pill manosphere stuff. So millennial men are like more normal than Gen Z men.
No way.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like if you do polling, generally speaking, young men are as conservative as about 70-year-old men.
Really?
And as a young woman, you might not even be, a leftist or an anti-capitalist. You might just believe that you should have the right to vote. It's really difficult for those women to date. Like, luckily, I'm in a very happy relationship, but I feel like it's like the last helicopter out of Nam. Like,
right,
that's what it feels like.
You got out of cycle.
Yes.
When I'm dating someone, what gives me the ick is when a guy doesn't do traditional gentleman stuff, like open the door for me or pay for the first meal and stuff like that. I'm kind of into all that stuff, so I feel like it's more of like a respect thing, like if you just kind of start with being like a gentleman.
It seems like modern women like to use a lot of buzzwords to justify being a gold digger, being a streetwalker, basically, right? You want a man to obviously make a certain amount of money. That's okay. But when you start to say, if he don't pay my bills, then I'm not giving out this cat. If he don't take me on these types of trips, then I'm not giving out this cat. If he don't, and they try to, a woman wants to be financially stable and do all of these other things. I get it. I'm right there with you. But we gotta, at some point in time, start calling an ace and a spade. These modern women out here are being irresponsible with their lives.
I was dating someone who was very secure in his masculinity, and I never had that. And although I loved the feeling of it, I just could not let myself surrender.
Yeah.
And a masculine man isn't gonna fight for his role, rightfully so. Like, it didn't work out.
That's very well said. Yeah, a masculine man's not going to fight for his role. I love that. It's like, what the heck? I'm not going to prove myself about this thing or have to defend myself or my own extension of my kindness. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of men who are disconnected from that will continue to display their resources for somebody who can't receive it until they realize who they're really doing it for.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
You ever realize how bad your trust issues are? I had this man ask me out on a date, and if you don't know, I have kind of put off dating. I haven't been dating or entertaining men. I'm kind of like in my men hating era. And he was fine. Like this man, it is hard for me to find people truly attractive. So I was like, yeah, why not? And now I'm just like thinking of 1,000,001 reasons as to why this is too good to be true or what might be wrong with him. I just like don't trust his intentions, and I don't trust that he's like a normal guy. I'm like, there has to be something off. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? This man literally just asked me to go get a coffee. Biggest green flag is trying to like meet me in the daylight and just chat. You know what I mean? And I'm just out here being like, there's something sus.
You know, these modern women, it's not ignorance. It's just misapply. Like you're not applying it in the right context, right? Like, you know, say for instance, if a man does something, you know, maybe he's working, and he don't text back. Oh, you know, he's avoidant. You know, you can't really trust this guy, right? And they make a big deal about it. They'll fool around. Obviously, they're gonna text a group. Obviously, they're gonna text anybody and everybody who they know. They're gonna blow up your phone. They're gonna tell TikTok you're a terrible person. But when you look at what she's doing, she don't text back for a few hours. Oh, you know, I'm just maintaining healthy boundaries. You know, you're doing the same thing that I am, but for some reason, I'm wrong about it. I'm the one that's toxic. I'm the one that's avoided. How the heck does that make sense?
Every woman wants a masculine man, but let's talk about the inconveniences of being with a masculine man if you are an unhealed woman. A masculine man is very disciplined. Therefore, it'll expose how undisciplined you are. His structure will irritate your chaos. His calmness will feel like coldness. You will get bored because he initially has created peace in his life, structure and order. You either get in alignment with it and add to his peace, or you will have to leave.
Now, me and one of my friends were just walking the West Side Highway for like an hour, and of course the conversation of dating comes up, and she's like, where are you meeting guys? Like, where are the guys hanging out? Because I do not use dating apps. I have literally been on 2 dating app dates in my entire life, and I have good success in the wild, I would say. And I'm like, you know what? We're asking the question wrong. It's not where am I finding the guys, it's where are the guys hanging out. So if you're a guy in New York City, where are you going? And do not tell me a bar or a club. I am not finding my husband at either of those places. I am going to the bars to have a girls' night. I don't go to clubs, so yeah, girls' night. Where are the guys going? Where can we meet you? If you are a single, eligible bachelor, a good man, where can we find you? And do you want to be found? Because it seems a little questionable when we're out and about. Like, do you even want to be found? We're here. We're right in front of your face. We are under your nose. So approach us. Why are we not approaching?
You know, you have a lot of these modern women that are continue to ask why men don't approach, right? And, you know, a lot of times if they're honest, you know, there's a part that they continue to leave out of their question. And I think they really know it, right? I think a lot of men feel like, you know, their social roles have changed. So even if you have like a normal interaction or something like that, all of a sudden, you know, you're getting labeled as like somebody that's creepy. You know, you're getting embarrassed. You're getting labeled as somebody who's doing stuff that's inappropriate. And I don't think modern women really understand that when you label somebody as creepy, you make it seem like they're, you know, sneaking around windows and doors and stuff like that. And that's just like weird.
You can't make a relationship work with someone who thinks that love is just a feeling and it's not a choice, a practice, and a skill as well. Because when someone treats love like a moment instead of a devotion, they avoid the one thing that every relationship requires, which is responsibility for their own patterns. They think that chemistry should carry the entire connection, and it never does. Chemistry can open the door, but emotional maturity is what keeps the relationship alive. Real love is an ongoing choice to stay present. It's the willingness to regulate your nervous system instead of reacting from old wounds. It's the humility to repair when you've slipped into survival patterns. It's the courage to communicate with clarity instead of collapsing or running away and shutting down. Someone who believes that love should always feel easy will sabotage the relationship the moment that discomfort appears.
If you truly believe there aren't any quote-unquote good men, then you're going to be very resistant to accepting that information that comes through when it does present itself, because you'll find ways to prove your belief right through your own anchored bias or through your own fears. The truth is that there are good men, there are great men out there. You would definitely not see them and feel their presence if you're really scared of that at the same time, because that's often what's happening. It's like, I want a healthy relationship and I want a healthy man, but I don't trust that it will stay in my life. I don't trust that I'm worthy of it. I don't trust that it exists. I trust that he will hurt me like the 7 others did, or like my dad did, whatever it is. So we have to get to the core of that, because usually that statement is like, there's no good men in the world. There's so many layers underneath that.
You know, a lot of men, a major reason that they check out is that these modern women have like a situationship alumni, like a alumni network, where a lot of these ladies are staying connected loosely. They're staying connected loosely to an ex boyfriend, partner, situationship, right, as a backup plan, while they're publicly out here dating new men. And these men are saying, are you intentional about dating? Oh yeah, I've cleaned up everything. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not, right? But that's not actually the case, right? You still have your situationship from 3 years ago, yeah, in 2023, on close friends, on your Instagram somewhere, liking his gym pics, when, you know, he posted at 11 o'clock, swearing up and down, oh yeah, I'm just supporting him. Oh, you don't need to worry about that, right? You're still emotionally involved with your ex. You're still emotionally involved, or at least sending your energy to the, well, you know, I can still be friends with my exes. I'm not toxic. Great. I hear you. But if it were reversed, you would ask me to cut these ladies off. And this is what a lot of men are realizing. You're not actually available to me. I get about 20% of you, and it doesn't matter if I'm in a relationship with you, if I'm exclusive, or we're just trying to date and get to know each other. That's about the highest that I'm going to get from you, is 20 to 30%. You want me to go full scale, balls to the wall, for 30% max? No.
Hi to all my hyper independent people who can't tell you what their love language is, and every time they think of a love language, they think about how somebody can solve a problem for them because they were wired to figure out how to solve a problem instead of be a problem. I just want to shout out to you. If you find yourself in a situation where you don't feel like being hyper independent and you actually want to be dependable on somebody, you want to rely on somebody, you actually want to feel like this person is taking care of you, doing very nurturing like things, it's probably because you weren't nurtured. For some people growing up, they had to be so hyper independent and meet their own needs that they weren't given affection, they weren't given nurturing, they weren't given acts of service. And acts of service now to you is just solving problems for you. But you are learning that your love language is actually just unmet needs. You are learning that you want to soften, you want to shed the shield, you want to be more present, you don't want to have to be in control and take care of every single thing. But now you're trying to figure out, who can I even do that with, and can I rely on the person to do it? That is a sign that you are coming out of survival mode, recognizing that you cannot stay in this hyper driven and hyper independent state for the rest of your life, because you will be exhausted.
Do girls like to be approached in public?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? I complain about it on a daily basis.
What do you complain about? Do you guys not approach you enough? Like, why do you?
No, I don't think it's that. I just think, for example, I was at a bar last night and there was a group of 3 guys, clearly just got off work, staring at us, and we were just sitting there, 3 single girls, like, why don't they get up and say hi to us? And you know what it is? is because there's dating apps now, guys think they have all these options. There's something better. You think a girl's cute, you're like, oh, she's cute. Oh, but this one's hotter. She might not have a better personality, but she's hotter. I feel like back in the day, they didn't have the apps, so they were forced to actually go up and talk to girls. And now that there are these dating apps, it's like they can hide behind a screen and talk and not be shy. I don't know, but it's really annoying.
She's cooking right now.
Yeah,
She's cooking right now.
Common approach to get my 3-step formula for meeting women in person.
I think what gets me is modern women will sit up there and cry for 2 hours after seeing their college roommate's gender reveal. And then they'll go over there and reopen Hinge. And now they'll add no hookups to their profile for the 4th time in a year. For the 4th time. If you stop messing around, then maybe you can have what your friend has. But like I said, y'all be out here riding the carousel. And then when somebody else, one of your friends who hasn't been doing that, or I'll say, maybe they were out there acting a fool. They decide, you know what? I'm getting a little bit too old for this. I gotta quit. That's the problem with modern women. They don't quit. They keep on doing whatever they want to do, whenever they want to do it, however they want to do it. And men keep on telling you, listen, you're doing it. It's you doing this. You're looking around at all your friends and how they're having success and dating and marriage and all that stuff. And you want that. But like I said, you open the dating apps and say, oh, no hookups. You keep on putting it on and off, putting it on and off, putting it on and off. And you keep, I'm just having fun, or this, and this. At some point in time, you're going to have to get serious. That's what men keep saying. Y'all wait 10, 15 years when you way past your prime. And I don't want to use that word strictly, but you be 50 years old. Be 50 years old. You didn't use yourself, your body, and now you want a man to say, okay, come in and make me whole. What? No.
Hey, Pink.
Yeah.
That was so natural.
Cold approach, begging versus choosing. Sorry to bother you versus not apologizing. You don't need to say sorry if you didn't do anything wrong. You're a man who saw a woman you were interested in and you went up and said hi. That's not a crime. And opening with sorry positions yourself as lower value. You're beautiful versus not complimenting her looks. Every guy she's ever met complimented her looks. It's not gonna win you brownie points. Inversely, it's gonna put you in the same box as all the other men that over-validated her. Want to go out with me versus I'm going to X, come join me. Want to go out with me just comes across very needy. If you really don't want to sound needy to her, you can say that you're already going to a certain spot, for example, a certain bar on a Friday, and then give her the option to join you. I was already doing this thing, but you can come if you want. Are you taken versus assuming she is or isn't. Single women get asked if they're taken so much that a lot of them default to saying yes. Assuming makes it sound like you don't care what the answer is, and she will either confirm or deny. We're so compatible versus we're never going to work out. Telling her you two are a good fit is selling yourself. That's what most guys do. Telling her you're not gonna get along is flirting. Instead of you selling yourself to her, she'll start selling herself to you. Why would we not work out? Can I get your number, pretty please? Versus put your number in my phone. Can I get your number is very flimsy and indecisive. Put your number in my phone assumes the answer. Why would she say no? You're not giving her a reason to hesitate. Assume the close.
Odds are, if you are an older woman and you're single and you're in the dating marketplace and you're having to compete with young women, that becomes a really uncomfortable reality for you, right? It just is, because you're thinking about what you were like at 22. And you're thinking about, oh my God, are my golden years gone? Oh my God, all this stuff. So women get this like weird discomfort when they're single, unmarried, older, and having to compete in a dating marketplace with young women. And it's justified. It makes total sense why. And then they start saying all this crazy stuff, like, oh no, women look better when they're older, and no, they're more attractive at 45 than they are, and it's just not true.
A lot of these modern women whether you're a single mother or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all going to be the same, right? It's just that a lot of times single mothers they're a little bit more, some of these women, not all women, but some of these women, they're a little bit more, they have a heightened, and I understand it, a heightened awareness of the things that are going on around them, right? But even at that, you still have to audition for the man as well. A lot of times a lot of these modern women are like, well, a man has to audition for me. He has to do X, Y, and Z. He has to show me this, and this. And sometimes they be asking a man to do stuff that has nothing to do with dating or courting or anything. That's just what I wanted, right? So you have a lot of modern women out here. Well, I got to make sure that this is in line, and I'm a single mother, so I have standards, and my standards are even higher, and this and that. But really, honestly and truly, and this is why I mentioned it, you look at their standards, and really it's not really a higher standard. Sometimes it's just desperation. Sometimes it's just, I really need this. I really want this in my life. I really don't want to work anymore. Right? So I need a man to make enough so I can take a step back. Well, do you plan on having any other kids? No. Well, what step back are you going to be taking? You don't plan on having any other kids. That's your kid. He'll come in and be a father figure and be the man of the house. He doesn't need to pay for you. Like, you don't need to become a stay-at-home mom. But they be asking for things. They be, I want more from this next relationship. And they be trying to put more pressure on a man to do stuff that they can actually do themselves. If they stop being lazy or stop wanting to be mentally lazy, well, I want to do this now. No. You need to continue the stuff that you are doing and stop trying to find a man and dump all your problems on, whether it's financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You need to continue to handle your
and my relationship even somewhat take a backseat to the emphasis I have on friendships, and I encourage my partner to do the same, because most men let their personal lives atrophy once they're in a relationship and just become friends with the friends of their 100%. Girlfriend or the boyfriend of the girlfriend's girlfriends.
Yes.
And I have always been firmly against that and always warned of such a thing, because I think it's really dangerous, because it puts too much pressure on me to be someone's universe. And I think it's such a dangerous part of the 80s and 90s, like in all the movies, that you're supposed to expect like a soulmate and someone who's going to be everything you need in one person. That's why so few people can find anyone. I'm really like, I've got almost everything I need in my friends, and then James is cake and I am cake. You know, men have more friendships over in Europe. They have more things to go and do with each other, because men don't like to do things where they face each other. They prefer to do things side by side with one another. I think because patriarchy has terrorized them out of intimacy, because not all men and not all male cultures are like that. Like, you go into sort of more Arab places and the men are sitting opposite each other, smoking together, eating late night cake together. But I do think, like, within Europe in particular, you see that men have more activities they go and do with each other, and they have more
fishing,
boys trips, and more
next to each other in silence in a boat, because they're men.
But exactly. But there's less. I'm hearing less about the male loneliness epidemic in a lot of these places. Mostly when we're hearing about it, it's in the UK and England. I'm not saying that men aren't lonely. There's a general loneliness epidemic around the world, but the places where I hear of it being the worst are the place with the most Western patriarchal standards. Places in Italy where the men are like kissing each other on the mouth. I haven't heard of the male loneliness epidemic. You know what I
mean? Listen, women, if his best isn't good enough for you, please leave that man alone. Okay? He's not a bad guy. You're not asking for too much, but staying while quietly resenting him for not being able to meet your expectations is not fair to either of you, right? A lot of people think the kinder thing to do is to stay because they can see the effort, or because they can see the intention, or because they know that person cares, so they convince themselves to make it work. But what often happens instead is resentment, because every time that person falls short of what you need, of course you're going to feel disappointed. And every time they feel that disappointment from you, they start to feel like they're failing you. And so that nobody deserves to feel like the person they love is constantly disappointed in who they are. So living with the feeling that you're always falling short for someone you care about, I think, is its own kind of heartbreak. Here's the part they don't want to tell you, but I will. You will start editing your expectations down just to keep the peace. And they will start feeling pressure just to keep you from leaving. So now one person is unfulfilled and the other person feels inadequate, and neither of you is actually being met where you are, right? This is not a relationship that is growing. This is two people slowly shrinking inside of it, right? Compatibility isn't just about effort. It's about whether what one person needs and what the other person can give actually meet somewhere in the middle. And when they don't, you have a choice, right? You can stay and slowly resent them for their limits, or you can be honest about the mismatch, because appreciating someone's effort doesn't mean you owe them a relationship. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for both people is to accept that their best and your needs don't live in the same house, because someone's best shouldn't have to live under constant disappointment.
What's funny is that a lot of these modern women out here, they say silly stuff like, oh, he's a senior engineer at his job, makes good money, got a good job, he's stable. But because she don't know what the heck she's doing, she'll go out there and be like, oh, he wasn't ambitious enough for me. What? Yeah, he wasn't doing it like I was doing it. He's not on my level. Bam. You make $10 a month. That man probably make 250 to 200K. He's well above. He's well above anything that you could have even imagined or dreamed of. And it's sit up there stupid. Like, what were you looking for? What should he be doing? Literally. I'm thinking of a woman that said something to the effect of, the matchmaking was confused. She was like, hey, he's a doctor, he's doing this, and this. What kind of doctor is he? She said this. I'm not joking. I can't remember the name of the I can see her face. I can't remember. Essentially, and you've probably seen her. I think at one point in time she made her on social media. I know of another creator that actually did a video on her. She's vetting these women, and these women are saying, well, where's he doing his residency at? Can we get, transcripts and, confirm that this is what he's doing? Because this, based on what my dad told me, this is the type of doctor that I'm looking for. What?